Hi, so for today's craft, we're going to be making fish crayons, and really you can use any kind of mold. I'm just making fish, and my son's 11 now, but for his first birthday party, it was one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish theme, and my mom and I made all these like fish crayons, and then wrap them up and all this stuff, and this is the last one left from his first birthday. I don't know where the rest of them went, but it was super fun. I was asking her, how did we melt it? Because I don't even remember. It was so long ago. Anyways, we're going to use a microwave today, and you can use any kind of mold that you want. This is super good for like, when you have to give class gifts, birthday parties, especially for like younger kids where they don't use this kind of crayon yet. They use the chunkier crayon. So having like the fun shapes, plus they're chunky, is kind of cool. And you can mix colors, make them all rainbow. As you can see, we did last time because this is a mess. And this is a candy mold or a chocolate mold. I like these versus the silicone ones just because if it's shiny, it'll make the crayon shiny. Maybe some silicone molds will, but in my opinion, like from my experience, this kind of mold will make them a little more matte, which is fine too. But if you want that shiny appearance, I spray painted this one gold, but it had a shiny, I don't know, look to it, and it's because this is like a harder plastic. So the reason why I'm doing this now, like 11 years later or 10 years later, is my son needs to make this art project, and it's due in like a few days. He needs to, I'll put a picture of it just if you're curious why I'm making a fish, but he needs to make 2 goldfish. And so what I did, I thought I had a red crayon. It had some gold flecks in it, and I tried to spray paint it gold, and it doesn't totally work. Maybe if I do another layer, it'll be better, but it's not gold. So I think if it started with a yellow base, it'll end up being a little more gold. Plus, I'm going to put some gold glitter, and this is just extra fine glitter. So you can do that with your crayons. You can put like chunky glitter, like shape glitter, anything you want. I also have this mica, this gold mica, and this is from like my soap making days. You can put this in your soaps and it kind of colors it too. Just gotta be super careful because this is like very fine and can fly away. So we're gonna try that. And yeah, so I have some yellow crayons. I think this will be enough. I'm just gonna make maybe 2. I'm gonna try maybe 1, maybe 2 of each. So I'm gonna put mica in both and then glitter in both, and then hopefully this is enough crayons. It's super easy. Pick whatever mold you want, silicone, candy mold, chocolate molds. And I just have a glass dish because I'm gonna be microwaving the crayons at 30-second intervals just until kind of melted. I have a chopstick just to mix it with. You can use whatever you want. And I have a craft knife just to take off the wrappers. This is kind of like the most tedious part. If you're doing this with kids, obviously don't let them do this part. For the easiest way I found to take off multiple wrappers is to hold it very steady and then very carefully draw a line down. And then it comes off super easily versus picking at it and trying to peel it. Yeah, but just be very careful. And usually I would stick to one brand of crayon, but I'm using a bunch of random ones just because he's not gonna color with this. We're doing a project, so it doesn't even matter. I'm partial to Crayola. I think those always color the best or have the best color payout. Okay, and so we're just gonna break it up into small pieces. It'll melt if it's in a bigger piece, but it'll take longer. So smaller pieces are better. And it's so fun. You can like totally mix and match colors if you want. I think I'm gonna do this to my younger son later, and he can make whatever color crayon he wants. But for now, we're gonna do yellow. If I can find some of the other ones we made, or my sister made some Mickey ones too. I will post a photo just for ideas. But really, there's so many different kind of molds now, like on Amazon or like the dollar store and stuff, that you can really get whatever or get creative. Okay, and then before I microwave this, I'm gonna prepare the glitter. This little brush came with the fine glitter. Let's see if I need it. I'm just going to tap it in there. Maybe spread it out a little. You don't want to clump it up like this because when you take out your crayon, it may or may not stick. Well, we'll see. I'll just leave that one kind of crazy. Maybe it'll stick. I don't know. So this is the gold mica powder. Like the mica powder, because it's so fine, it'll like, when they color, it'll go on the paper. The chunkier glitters might, but the mica powder for sure will. You can also swirl it in there too, like when you, after you pour the crayon, so that it's like really in the middle of the crayon, not just on the outside. So yeah, normally I would use a lot less of this glitter stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and melt this and come back. Okay, so I did 5 30-second I guess melting or time in the microwave, and it came out like this. I'm gonna try to mix it up a little. It may need a little more time. I don't know if you can burn it. I'm sure you can burn anything in the microwave, but yeah, I didn't want to burn the crayons. And the glass dish is very hot, so I had these like silicone things to pick it up with. So just stir it until there's no more little chunks left. So remember when we were making these crayons, we had like colorful ones, and to get the true colors, like I would have like maybe all the different colors, like maybe 2 I would have melted, and I think we poured it in at the same time so that part of the fish was one color and the other part was another, and it kind of blended in the middle. You can go ahead and get like different colors and melt them in here, but if you're mixing it up, it's going to turn brown, so you just want to be careful of that. You don't have to, I guess, mix it per se. You could just microwave it longer and just pour it in. If you have a bigger mold, that would help too. If you have a silicone mold, I think you can just like break up the crayons and put it in, and it'll just melt in here. Maybe we'll do that for this one. I know this one though, this is really old and it's like a hard plastic, so I don't want to put it in the microwave and then risk, I don't know, melting that also. Okay, so I think all the little pieces are done or melted. This is still really hot, so I'm just gonna use something to help pick it up. These are super cute. My friend got this for me from Japan. It has like little grippies in here. And yeah, let's just pour it in very carefully. So I'm not gonna fill it up super full because for my project, we don't need it to be like that. But if you're making it for actually like coloring, I would fill it up all the way. And maybe I forgot to mention, but I have parchment paper on my work surface just to protect it for things like that. If you spill crayon on here, you can, after it's cooled, you can just like pick it off and then reuse it. So yeah, parchment paper is good for that. Now we're just going to let it cool. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I'm guessing like I will leave it in here for at least 2 hours, maybe 4 hours, just so that it's, yeah, totally hardened and everything. So we'll come back to that later. For now, let's try this. So maybe we'll do red, let's do blue, and What's this? I don't even know. A maroon. We'll just use these two. I'll just try it in one. Okay, so I'm just gonna take off the wrapping. Just gonna break it up in little pieces and put it in there. Super hard to break it up. I guess I'll take you to the microwave. We'll microwave this for 30-second intervals again. Okay, microwaving this one crayon took way too long. It was like about 5 minutes and it still didn't melt all the way in the middle. So I'm just kind of helping it along. Yeah, 5 minute with 30-second intervals. So I don't think I would recommend doing it straight in the microwave. Other ways to do it, if you're gonna make a lot, like for a party or something, make sure you get oven safe silicone molds and ones that you're only going to use for baking or crafting, like soaps or crayons, and are not going to use for baking anymore, because even when I wash it after, it does have a scent of like crayon, so you know it can't be good for like baked goods after. And you get the molds, you put them on a cookie sheet and break up the crayons like how we did for this one, and just bake it at 275 and just watch it until it melts. That's a good way to do multiple if you don't want to do the pouring method. And if you want to do it like a bunch of different colors, you can just break it in the silicone mold and then bake it. The pouring method is super easy if you just have like one color or maybe two colors. You can just like pour it in at the same time and it's super fast. Like these ones, these are pretty shallow molds. So these are already cool to touch on the top. I'm still gonna let it sit for maybe another 2 hours and then we'll come back and unmold all of them. Okay, so it's been about another hour, so let's try and unmold these. I'm just gonna pop this one out. And yeah, it's cute. But you see how it's kind of a matte look? It's because it's in this kind of mold. So I'll show you what these look like. Okay, this one didn't get all the way into the little divots, I think because I had so much of the mica in there. But that's what that looks like. I think because if you had like a little pile of mica, it doesn't, I didn't mix it or anything. So it did get absorbed into the crayon, but it left a little air pocket from the powder. So that's the mica. This one turned out a little bit better. And this is the glitter, where I put a lot, but not like a ton. This is the one that had a ton of glitter. So it did have a little divot where there was a little pile of glitter also. And yeah, they usually end up turning out a little bit shinier. I guess this one's a little bit shinier. For my son's purposes, I guess we will use these two and then spray paint it even more gold so that it looks more like the photo. But yeah, any of these scraps too, you can just throw it back into the heating one, the heating cup, and you can reuse it. So here's a little bit of scratch paper if you want to see how the crayon like works. It's just whatever side is on, it will color. So that's cute. I'll use this one with the hole in it, I guess. It is yellow, so it's kind of hard to see. This one has glitter. You can see little, maybe you can see little specks of glitter on it. I guess most of the glitter falls off. And then this is the mica one. It's really hard to tell because it's yellow, so. But there is a little bit of glitter on there. So in the mold, if you look in the mold, these are the little divots that have the hole, and it's because of the little clumped up glitter areas. So I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. My kids actually wanted to try to do the crayons too, so I'm probably just gonna put these all back and maybe keep this one because this one's okay. And we melt it, and then that way the mica and the glitter will all mix in there, and then we're going to re-pour it with a little more glitter on the top. But yeah, thanks for watching this experiment, and hope you guys try making your own cute crayons too.